I'm 16 years old, 60 kilos, soaking wet, with a chronic basketball addiction, with the biggest ambition and goal that I myself am gonna make the NBA. I would have rep tryouts, representative basketball. If you're from Victoria, you probably kind of know what that is. And it's like the higher level of basketball compared to just your average Saturday domestic league. I would have my first ever tryouts because I wanted to start having more like competition because the Saturday league wasn't really getting it done. I wanted to have proper training sessions and start to get noticed more. And I remember how I felt for these tryouts, knowing I was that guy who would dominate the Saturday leagues. I came into those tryouts with a pretty big ego and thought, I am the best, I am the best, I am the best. Go to the tryouts and it turns out I was nowhere near the best. If anything, I was one of the worst. I got made fun of because I didn't understand how to do the drills we were meant to do at the tryouts. And I remember I got brought up as someone to like demonstrate it. I didn't even raise my hand. I literally just got picked. And I felt like confident, like good. Yeah, I know how to play basketball. I know how to set a pick and roll. I know how to do this and this and this. And I'm confused, unsure, lost. The coach looks at me and is like, next person, come and explain. Keep in mind, this was at the beginning of the tryout. I came into this tryout with such high confidence, and because of one like slightly negative event that occurred, my confidence went from 100 to 0. We then start doing full court drills, like a 3-man weave, and the last person has to finish on a layup. I would do whatever it was to take to not be the guy to finish with the layup just because my confidence already felt down. And guess what, bro? I was the guy who had to finish on the layup, and me being a left hand, it ended up on my right hand, and I missed it. Confidence started to go down even more. We then start doing conditioning drills, like sprints. We have to run to the free throw line and back, 3-point line and back, half court line and back, full court line and back. And whoever comes last has to do it in front of everyone. Like we did it in a big group of like, I would say there were like probably 40 to 50 young guys trying to make the ones team. I came dead last. Or because of the fact that before tryouts, I wasn't preparing myself. I wasn't saying to myself that I need to get fitter. I need to make sure I'm ready for the tryouts. I would say to myself that I am already the best and I don't need to train. I can play video games up until 4 a.m. and train my thumbs playing virtual basketball, NBA 2K. And I soon came to realize that everyone else around me spent their time a whole lot more productive than me. I then had to do these, they're called suicides, that's the word. Basketball suicides. If you're a basketballer, you know how painful they are. I had to do a suicide on my own while everyone looked at me. And I had some friends at these tryouts and they like expected highly of me just because I would play Saturdays with them and they thought I was like the go-to guy. My goal was to make the ones team. I made the third team. I was pissed. I was upset. Heck, I was even angry because I knew some people in the teams above me and I would like to classify myself better than them. So you're probably thinking, oh, Adrian, what did you do then? You had all of this like negative fuel. Did I use it productively? Because that would have been the manly thing. I did. I got so pissed off at the fact that I wanted to prove all of my peers wrong and make sure that the first team's coach and the second team's coach made a mistake by not picking me. And that's what I did. Every Sunday morning, 8 a.m., we would have training sessions. And our threes team would have to train with the twos and ones team. The guys in the twos and ones team, keep in mind, this is when we're all like 16 years old. They all had big egos and they just naturally felt like, yeah, we're the best. We don't need to train too hard. We can rock up 30 minutes late to training or act all like nonchalant, which sounds like such a common stigma and stereotype with like basketball, like Coach Carter and movies like that. And this actually was the case. Now when I reflect and look back on my representative basketball career, this was the facts. And I would come into these Sunday morning sessions knowing this and ready to embarrass them. Imagine being in the ones team and losing to the threes team in like scrimmage. And that's what happened. My coach Tim, who if he's watching this by any chance, which I highly doubt, he was one hell of a coach and he could see the dissatisfaction and ambition in all of us and wanting to prove something to these better teams. We would scrimmage, and from once being the guy who was like super low confidence from tryouts to now having this hunger, this desire, and almost like embrace the challenge and competition that came along with it. It was a complete 360 switch. And I'm going to be honest with you, being in that threes team was the funnest and most challenging experience that did cause a lot of growth in my overall self-development. It was the first time I understood that maybe too much ego is one thing that can set all of us back and almost make us incapable of being authentic, making progress, and proving to people that we are what we say we are. Still to this very day, my ego is still honestly something that may get the best of me, but I am learning how to tame it by reflecting on past stories where I was unaware of my own ego. This is why I believe like reflecting and looking back at past events in maybe your childhood, maybe your sporting teams you used to play in, when you can analyze and think, my goal was to make the NBA. Why did I fail that goal? Was it because I wasn't this tall? Was it because I didn't get lucky? Or was it because I didn't know the systems and I had one big fucking ego and poor mental health alongside that? My habits outside of basketball weren't prioritizing my recovery, weren't being obsessed with the game and trying to study and watch YouTube videos and how to be better and what are my weaknesses and to double down on them. If anything, my life outside of basketball was video games, getting pissed at 16th birthday parties, kind of going to the gym because I wanted to get stronger for basketball, but not even really taking that as serious as I should have. Every single birthday, when I would blow the candles from my cake when I was 10 years old, when I was 11, when I was 12, when I was 13, 14, up to 15, 16. As corny as you may think this sounds, my wish would be to make the NBA because I thought that was my be-all, end-all and my biggest purpose on life. And if I wasn't to make the NBA, I would be considered a failure. And okay, cool, younger Adrian, that's great. Dream big, think big. Set unrealistic, crazy goals to push yourself. I didn't have that hunger. I was very emotionally chaotic. I didn't really have I did have a strict father, I'm going to be honest, but he didn't really set in place the discipline that was required for me to make that next level. And you're probably thinking, oh, but Adrian, you said you turned it around and you started embarrassing the ones team and you got your shit together because you were dissatisfied. Yes. And this was my first season. At the end of this season, we had like an awards night and there's the MVP, the most valuable player, the most prestigious award that every player in each team wants to get. It was between me and this other like Asian guy on my team who I thought was an amazing player. His name was Matt. We're at the team dinner and I'm just like acting like nonchalant, thinking, oh, if I don't get it, it's whatever. But deep down, I had that hunger. I'm like, fuck, I want to win MVP. I want to win MVP. I want to win MVP. I thought this guy, Matt, was the favorite and that he was going to win it. But then I try to reflect on this past season and say to myself that, okay, I went to every training session. I was a really good leader. And other than like scoring, I was also a really, really good playmaker. I would create opportunities for others, which showed I didn't have like a crazy big ego. Eating dinner, fast forward to the end of the night, the coach announces the awards. He announced the most improved player, best defensive player, and then we get to the most important, prestigious award, MVP. I'm sitting there with my fingers crossed. The coach says, and the most valuable player for the 2016-17 season is Adrian Scar Petis. Me? So you're telling me all of those thoughts I once had that I'm the best are valid and I am the best? All of that dissatisfaction and anger and aggression and envy I once had was for the right reason? I am the best up until then. When I got that most validating award, do you think I doubled down and wanted to work harder? Or do you think a 16-year-old who was really immature, chaotic, emotional boy was to make the same mistakes again? Because let's be honest, do you really think I had this awareness and was able to reflect on why I went from not making the team I wanted to then getting MVP, to then still not making the ones team the next season. I won this MVP award and I instantly assumed, oh, I was right. I am the best. So next year for the next tryouts, I know I'm just going to be put in the ones team. That whole off season, again, I made the same mistakes. I didn't train. I didn't work hard. I didn't try educate myself. I walked in those tryouts with this time probably an even bigger ego than what I once had in the first tryouts. Again, I don't make the ones team. And this year was my first year in the new age bracket, like under 18s, from being under 16s to now having to go under 18s. A good accomplishment was to make the 2s. I made the 3s. And I thought, what? I'm the MVP. I don't want to have to do all of this again. I don't want to have to go through this whole character arc of being pissed off, being aggressive, trying to prove to everyone. I'm sick of that. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this. I get some feedback from the coaches saying, Adrian, you really got to control your ego. You're too skinny. You got to get stronger. And that pissed me off because I would look at my arms and they were the size of my pinky. I would weigh 6 kilos soaking wet. And sooner rather than later, all of my other opponents, all of my other teammates started to figure out how to defend me better. And I wouldn't double down on my weaknesses. They would all understand I'm a left-hander and I love to always go to my left side. And as soon as I go to the right side, I won't attack the rim. I'll just pull up for a jumper because I don't have that confidence to finish with my right hand. I would get upset that people would start to figure me out. But most importantly, I would take that comment of, oh, Adrian, you're too weak and skinny to make a higher team. Personally, this is when I found the gym. And actually, believe it or not, again, I would use that chunk of dissatisfaction, of anger, not into basketball, but into my soon-to-be new purpose of building muscle mass. Because outside of basketball, bro, I'm going to be honest with you, my right hand wasn't my only weakness. I was known as the guy who couldn't speak to girls in school. I had extremely low confidence. Heck, some of my closest friends would even self-proclaim and give me the nickname of Raj. Raj was a character from The Big Bang Theory who was known for his inability of talking to girls. That was me. Another weak point, which I thought, oh, this is bullshit. No, I just got unlucky. I would even start to blame my genetics because I wasn't building muscle at the rate I wanted to. It seems like I would just go through these up and downs, emotional high, emotionally low, emotional high, emotional low. I was chaotic. And I guess you can say okay, Adrian, you were going through puberty. You were a young guy. When we're all young, we're all a bit chaotic. I would look at my friends and they were a lot more stoic, calmer, more confident than what I was. I was so chaotic, and I know I've told a lot of stories about this in the past, that I would take everything to the extreme, which, okay, isn't necessarily the worst thing. If we're doing the good habits in extreme, that's only going to catapult our self-improvement. I would do good habits in extreme, and I would also do bad habits in extreme. I would find about alcohol and how that can improve my confidence. So every single party, I was to double, triple down on that to get more fake confidence, which I've made videos about before. My whole party life and how many mistakes I made in that character arc. I was an emotionally reckless teenager who would consistently and regularly go through these ups and downs, which I'm going to be honest with you, bro, led me nowhere, but in the same position. I would start going gym. I would notice a little bit of extra muscle mass. And then I would go to these basketball training sessions in my new team. And I wouldn't carry that same ambition as I once did in my first season. If anything, I started to resent basketball. It started to become resentful, something that I didn't want to really give my full effort because I was that pissed off with the results and with what team I made. So I would almost slowly start to push basketball away. And I would have the same coach I had the last season. He would look at me as Adrian, you won MVP. What's going on? Why you become worse? I wouldn't take it as seriously because outside of basketball, this new purpose, this new discovery, this new mission, challenge, journey of the gym and building muscle and proving my peers at school wrong that I am capable of building muscle. So now I want to prove them wrong. And I don't want to prove the basketball coaches wrong anymore. I don't really care about them. I want to prove my friends wrong. And I want to prove these girls wrong who don't give me attraction, don't give me attention. I want to prove all them wrong. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start taking the gym seriously now while still kind of playing basketball. But my ambition and progress on the court is going lower and lower and lower and lower. And it got so bad that after that second season of representative basketball with my once so-called purpose of making the NBA came to an end. And I would just, again, play Saturday local domestic league basketball for fun. But I say for fun, but really just to masturbate my ego and make me think that, oh, I am the best. I am dominating again. I want you to ask yourself, if there was one thing that is the main reason why you're not making the progress you want to make in however long the time period is, or whatever the thing is, whether it be sport, gym, dating, confidence, mindset, reading books, whatever habit, whatever thing, what is the one thing that is the main reason that is holding you back? Is it because you are emotionally reckless and that you never stay consistent with what you set your mind to? Consistency is one of the most important traits when it comes to becoming the best at whatever you want to be the best at. I started to improve this trait with gym, and I would say to myself that, okay, basketball didn't really go the way I wanted it to go. Like, I was consistent, but then I was inconsistent, and then I was making the team, and then I wasn't making the team. Let's not make the same mistakes with gym. Let's be consistent, because now, believe it or not, I am in full control. Like, the gym is almost like a solo sport. If I skip a meal, that's not my teammate's fault. That's my own fault. I'm not having to pass to my teammate in hoping that he makes that shot. I am now full reliant and take full responsibility that if I skip a gym session, I can't blame a coach for not helping me or not picking me to make that team. I can't blame a teammate for throwing me under the bus. I'm going to take full self-accountability, and that is going to make me more consistent than I have ever been. Right now, bro, if you have ambitions, if you have goals of making a fire in your sporting team and you're not consistent and you blame others, you have a lack of self-accountability and you are not going to make it far. If anything, you might quit the sport altogether, just like what I did, because of ego and lack of accountability. When I turned 21 years old and I would see other Australians, people from my state of Melbourne, making the NBA, you know how much regret I had knowing that, oh my God, it actually was possible. They proved it and I failed. Is it because they had better parents and they were more stricter on their kids? Or was it just because they took accountability for all of their actions and all of their mistakes? Why is my nose so itchy right now? One of the most masculine traits is being accountable for all of your actions. Saying to yourself that no matter what my environment is, no matter what scenario I've been put in, I'm to blame. Because when we can take this self-accountability, we get to solving the problem a lot more faster than pushing the accountability away from us. Saying to ourselves that, oh, it's not my fault that we lost this basketball game, it's his fault. Instead of doing that, saying to ourselves that it is our fault. I'm not going to blame my teammate because when I blame him, literally nothing gets fixed. Nothing. If anything, now I've made my teammate feel shit and made him argue back to me, and now we're just in some little feminine chit for chat argument on the basketball court. And then my coach is getting involved. Now it's like a triangle of just conflict, and no problem gets resolved. When I started becoming consistent with the gym, I had no one to blame. If I had a shit weight session, I couldn't blame the bloody weather. I couldn't blame my friends who would have come with me and that they didn't spot me well enough. I could only blame myself for maybe not getting a good quality sleep the previous night, for not getting in all of my high protein meals and carbohydrates before my session to make sure my muscles are full of glycogen and to push as hard as humanly possible. I couldn't do any of that. I had to take full accountability and almost put this boundary on myself that if I don't do this, I'm gonna fail. So I'm gonna do this. You need to set the same priorities with your sport. If your purpose is to make the league or whatever sport you want to go all in on. I wish my younger self could watch this video right now, because if he did, he would most likely make the ones team. he would most likely go all in on basketball and not be as emotionally reckless as he once was. I know how hard it would be for him to listen to me speak now and for him to take action on these lessons, because he's probably just thinking, oh, this version of Adrian is so up himself, he's so confident, why is he acting like he knows it all? I'm not going to listen to him. Slowly he would, through the mistakes he's making and through not getting the results he wants to. I had the dream, the vision, the goal of making the NBA, as like crazy as you want to call it. When we're little, we all have these like crazy goals. I didn't accomplish that. And I know in another universe, there is a younger version of myself who does. Because he puts his ego aside and takes in other people's advice. And this leads to the second point of this video, taking in constructive criticism. Literally yesterday, I'm coaching one of my close friends, helping him lose body fat for this summer and bringing in his most aesthetic physique yet. He gave me a text message yesterday, giving me like constructive criticism of how I can be a better coach. And you know, when you receive text messages, you don't really understand what tone they're in. You're a whole lot more likely to get triggered compared to when someone is giving you constructive criticism in person. You can kind of like understand them better. I know right now, if you've received constructive criticism over text, you probably chirped back and got angry. The amount of effort I've put into taking constructive criticism for what it is and not getting triggered and becoming more aware of trying to become better and realizing that it makes each other's jobs easier. It makes me a better coach and it makes my client more heard and understood. I became aware and I got this text message and instantly I was actually fueled with these negative emotions like, what? He thinks I'm not a better coach? I took a deep breath, I calmed down, and I realized and understood where it was coming from. A place of growth. Constructive criticism is the one thing which right now you can't take, younger Adrian. And if you're 30 minutes in this video and you're thinking, oh, no, I don't need to watch this, I'm already the best at basketball, you're getting emotional again. You're wrong. Quick plug, if you want to receive more of this one-on-one constructive criticism and for me to like analyze every single variable of your life, your gym, your diet, your self-improvement, your habits, this, that, etc. You can ask a question whenever you want in my private school community, the Petis Syndicate. We have a discussion thread, we have pre-recorded courses, and we even have 2 live calls a week with me personally. I even plan on hosting private meetups. First link in the description. The better your ability to take in constructive criticism and not get emotional, the more progress you will make in your self-improvement journey, with your sport, heck, even your relationship. Like right now, I probably cop the most constructive criticism with how to be a better partner in my relationship. And at first I would always get defensive. It would like attack my ego. I would get hurt. I would start sooking and rage baiting my partner without realizing that she just wants the relationship to be better. And so do I. I just couldn't read through the lines. If right now you don't really like my type of content and you think I'm too direct, too confrontational, too strict, too masculine, too aggressive, realize that by me showing more of these traits of a strict, direct leader, it is pissing something inside of you off and it is making you more likely to take action on the path you're setting out for yourself, whether it be to make the NBA, whether it be to progress faster in the gym, to read more books, to improve your dating life, whatever. Direct, slightly aggressive advice is something that I didn't have. I was a mummy's boy and I would be like, Mum, I didn't make the team, I wanted to. And she's like, oh, it's okay, Adrian. Don't worry about it. Do this instead. Don't be consistent. Don't be disciplined. Give up and do this instead. Which, I'm not like bagging my mum here. It's just that feminine energy is a whole lot more nurturing, calm. Masculine energy is action taking. Get off your ass and do this or else you're fired. That's the energy I didn't really have that much of in my life. My dad was always in and out of the house because of work. My parents got divorced when I was like 12. I didn't have that father figure. I lacked discipline. I lacked emotional regulation. And through years of hardcore self-improvement, I've only become more and more aware of that as days, weeks, months, years have gone on. I've said to myself that this is going to be a non-negotiable, that I take self-improvement as seriously as I can. Because if I don't have the consistency, I will fail once again like I did on that basketball court. This is my last chance and I'm going to give it everything I've got. I'm going to read the books Adrian has told me to read. I'm going to join his community. I'm going to go for that run. I'm going to go for that gym session. I'm just going to do it in hopes that it gives me a better life, because this whole existence that I've had on this planet, I've had no leader. I've had no older figure giving me guidance, direction, vision, mission to help push me and become my best version of myself. I didn't even know what the difference was between feminine and masculine energy. I honestly and authentically thought that the main reason I couldn't attract girls, or that I couldn't speak to girls in high school, was because I was Raj. I was Raj. My friends say I can't speak to girls. Okay, they're right. I can't. My coach says I have a big ego and can't make the ones team. Okay, you're right. I can't. And I'm going to stop basketball and I'm going to go gym instead. I'm going to run away from all of my problems and escape them through bad habits like playing video games till 3 a.m, becoming the best at 2K, which is a virtual game just because it's easier and requires less of my brain to think. I'm also going to go to these parties, these high school birthdays, and just not challenge myself and say, I'm not going to drink alcohol for this party and I'm going to speak to that girl that I've been planning to for weeks, months, years now. Sober. I'm not going to do any of that. I am just going to drink alcohol in hopes that it will make it easier. You have to stop hoping for something to get easier in thinking that will make your life better. Realize that the harder something is, the more valuable and worthwhile it most likely is. I don't even classify things as easy or hard anymore. I classify things as right or wrong. You know those types of friends who say that stuff where it's like, oh, I don't really want to start a business, it's too hard. I don't want to do barbell squats or pendulum squats, it's too hard, so I'm just going to do leg extensions. I'm not going to speak to a 10 out of 10 girl, it's too hard. Although I really, really, really want her, although I really, really, really want big legs, although I really, really, really want to make the NBA, it's too hard, and I'm giving myself a choice, and that choice is to do the easier choice. The choice which requires less effort. Realize that the less effort you put in something, the less results you're going to get, and the less fun and exciting your life is going to be, and the less attractive you will be. If I was a girl and I was to pick out of the hundreds of guys that are in my DMs, the girl will pick the guy who has most effort, who has purpose. Almost like he doesn't give himself an option and just does what's right, regardless of how hard or easy it is. You can say me posting consistent YouTube videos every single day till December 31st, heck, I might even go past that, is hard. But to me, it's not hard because I don't give myself a choice of easy or hard. I just do it because I know it's right. I know my future self will be this much better of a speaker the more consistent I can do this action of recording myself speak. I don't give myself a choice like I once did. Back on that basketball court, I will give myself a choice of, oh, I want MVP, so now for these tryouts, I don't need to try as of hard because the coaches know I'm an MVP and I can kind of relax now and chill and half-ass it. And whenever I was to half-ass something, I would get the results that I didn't want. You are slowly becoming the guy who doesn't half-ass this shit. For you to have a healthy attention span and listen to me speak for over 37 minutes takes a lot. And I respect that because I've checked the YouTube analytics and it's usually 10% of people that make it this far in the video. So props to you, bro. You are in the top 10%. And what if I was to tell you to get into the top 5%, the top 3%, heck, maybe even in the top 1%. Be the 1% of people who join my private school community to take their self-improvement to the next level. If there was one thing younger Adrian didn't have through this whole journey and emotional chaos of trying to make the NBA, trying to get jacked fast, trying to learn how to speak to girls fast. It was an older brother, a leader, a guy who could give him direction and guidance. I have 3 other siblings. I have 2 older sisters and I have a younger brother. I'm going to put some sauce on this, but I started going to the gym first, obviously out of me and my brother. When I started, I was like 16, my brother was like 13. And okay, you're probably not going to lift weights when you're like 13. But when I became 18 and my brother started gym when he was 15, because he really got motivated from seeing all of the progress that I personally made, I gave him all of the direction and guidance and he overtook me. And that was so fucking fulfilling because it made me feel like a mentor. It made me feel like that his results are responsible because of me. And obviously, like, not trying to discredit him and the hard work and discipline he put in the gym himself, but being some sort of mentor and giving advice is so fulfilling. And I genuinely love it so much. It's why I'm helping 2 of my close friends now, who I will post results on like my whole school page, of helping them lose body fat and achieve that aesthetic physique so they have the most confidence in themselves for summer. My close friend Alex, I helped him last year. I'll chuck the results on the screen now. And we fucking did that. Not because of luck, not because of making excuses, but because we set ourselves a goal, had accountability, had direction, had guidance, and just did it. Put our egos aside and said, this guy Adrian knows a bit about gym. I'm going to listen to him and just see what happens. If he's wrong, okay, at least I then know. But I'm going to put my faith, my trust into him that he's made progress on self-improvement. So I'm going to put my ego aside and just listen to him. And it's almost just like a win-win. If I don't make progress by listening to what he says, okay, my life is still the same. But if I listen and my life 10x's, why didn't I make this decision sooner? It mindfucks me how in today's day and age, masculine leaders are going down and down and down and down. Testosterone levels are going down and down and down and down. Social media usage time is going up and up and up and up. Loneliness is going up and up. Social skills are going down and down. Hunger, ambition, desire to be the best version of ourselves, I'd like to argue, is going down and down and down and down. 4, 90% of the male population. I'm going to validate you right now, bro, and let you know that you are not in that 90% of boys. Especially if you've just hit the 40-minute mark. This is like hitting the 40-minute mark on a run if you're like tracking your Strava runs. Good job. You're in the 10%. You know that statistic that, 90% of the girls are only attracted to the 10% of guys. I believe that's true. Because like I just said 10, 20 minutes ago, and I know I'm going a little bit off topic here, but why would a girl be interested or attracted to a guy who doesn't put in effort, who doesn't have ambition? We need ambition. We need guidance. We need direction. We need leaders. And I'm putting myself in those shoes and becoming one through this movement, through this channel. I want to leave you with an actionable step, just so you have like proper autistic one-on-one guidance and actions that you can take for spending your time watching this video. I want you to become aware of what is the one thing right now that you feel like personally is holding you back with making progress faster. Is it being consistent? Is it your ego? Is it being accountable for all of your actions? Is it because you have no leader, no direction, and you just feel kind of lost? Is it because you got unlucky? I don't know. Like, genuinely think, what is that one thing that is holding you back? Become aware of that and think hard, like, okay, the reason why I didn't make the team I wanted to make isn't because of him, her, she, that, or whatever. It's because I personally am not consistent. What can help me become more consistent? Can it be making a to-do list, a checklist, a calendar, and try organize my time in a much more organizing way? Could it be getting accountability from not only myself, but maybe from a coach? Adrian does coaching. Adrian has a community. That could actually fix my problem. Might even give that a shot. Could it be through self-accountability and just going hardcore on self-improvement solo, which, yes, it can work. It's what I did. But I'm going to achieve results a lot slower compared to the guy who has more accountability from a leader. Become aware of what the main issue is and ask yourself, can Adrian fix that and help me progress faster? No pressure, but once you trust me enough through watching my content, I think you'll know the answer. It's not that basketball wasn't for me, it's that I made it not for me. Out of inconsistency, ego, and lack of accountability and direction and guidance. In another world, there is a version of Adrian who, heck, maybe made the NBA, as like crazy as it sounds. But I know that this present version of me, that's not me. I am the guy who is all in on self-improvement. And it is the one thing that changed my life the most. Whatever your goals are, stick to them and do whatever it takes to achieve them. Because although there can always be a plan B, your life will be your best life if you accomplish and go all in on plan A. Get to work. If this video has motivated and educated you, I highly recommend you check out my private school community, the Petis Syndicate. It will be the first link in the description. Also, make sure to click the subscribe button, also a little bell icon. Kind of like remind you when I do upload these daily videos, and you can watch them as soon as humanly possible. I'm also going to leave a link of all of the books that personally helped me become more of a masculine man. That will be the second link in the description. I'm actually going to go to the gym and hit some light cardio on the Stairmaster. I'm in week 4 of my cutting phase, and every week I have dropped weight from being 90 kilos to 89.5 to 87.5 to weighing myself in this morning, Monday morning, which I do every week, at 86.5. Fat's coming off, and it's never been easier through making tiny adjustments with my diet and my cardio. Wish me luck. I'm going to be on the stepper for like 40 minutes, and then I might even hit a sauna, and I'll edit this video for tonight. Smash your goals this week, brother. It is Monday. Set the week right, and you will be unstoppable. Good luck, brother.